Good afternoon and welcome to the Tony C. Davis Show, coming to you by way of the Amazing Women and Men of Power and the Raven International Network. I am your host, Tony C. Davis, and I want to have an interview today. It's going to come from Mr. LaDarius Davis, no relation, young man I met some time ago, and LaDarius has a rare heart disease, and we're going to talk to LaDarius about some of the challenges that he has faced, how he has overcome those challenges, and also how it has inspired him to start a blog. Want to just stay tuned for Mr. LaDarius Davis. Hey guys, welcome to the show, Tony C. Davis Show. We are starting on time, and hopefully there are no technical difficulties. I want to say good morning to you. Great Saturday morning to you. Thank you all who are coming in and those who may come in a little bit later. Really do appreciate you. And today I have a two-time guest, Mr. LaDarius Davis. LaDarius was on the show maybe a week or so ago, and a real inspiration. And my wife and I, we've been on vacation for the past 8, 9 days, whatever it was, and I thought about this young man several times during the vacation. So I just reached out to him and to see if he'd actually give me another chance to interview him. And so again, LaDarius, welcome to the show and thank you. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. Again, we really appreciate you and some of the stuff you shared with us on last week, or maybe about 2 weeks ago. And as I said before, you have a lot of support from your family and friends. We'll talk about that a little bit. But for those who may not have been able to catch the show last time and may not know you, go ahead and share a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is LaDarius. 25 years old. I'll be 26 next month. Um, I'm just a average guy, just going through my own troubles, just like everyone else. But I find hope and strength in God and my family, my friends, and my faith. Most importantly, um, that's that's pretty much all I can say about me. Just average Joe.
Well, you're far beyond average, I tell you. For the things that you've been through physically and to be able to have a positive outlook and a positive attitude, that's far above average. So for those that don't know, share a little bit about your health. Because again, right before the show, you let me know that since the last time we did an interview, you've actually been in the hospital. So just share a little bit about your health.
Well, right now I have a heart disease called left ventricular non-compaction. It's rare, so it's really not a lot of treatment for it. The only thing that we can really do is manage it with medicine. I also have congestive heart failure. That's some of the things that I'm dealing with as of currently. As we were speaking earlier about my recent hospitalization, I was having trouble breathing, and I just kept coughing, and it felt like I was just going to cough everything up that was in me, organs included. And so my wife was like, "We need to go to the hospital." So we went to the hospital. Turned out that I had some fluid built up in me around my heart, so I had to stay there for a couple of days to just to be observed. But I'm feeling better now. I'm better now. You have your good days and you have your bad days with this disease, but you know my good outweighs my bad, so I'm happy.
Now, again, right before the show, you mentioned that the fact you had been in the hospital since the last interview, and you said something that really inspires me. You said something to the effect that the world owes you nothing. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah. Sometimes we as humans, we get to feeling sorry for ourselves. And so we want everyone else around us to feel sorry for us. But nobody owes me anything. It's not your fault that I was born the way I was or I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. It's not her fault. It's not his fault. So I can't expect, I don't look for sympathy or pity. That's what I mean by the world owes me nothing. I don't, I'm not going to get better with your sympathy or with your pity. I just need your support and I just need love. That's the only thing that's going to help any of us grow. And I just walk around with that mentality. I'm not going to be angry because I was born the way I was born. Because where's that going to get me?
Well, and again, that just shows the fact that you're not average. A lot of people who don't have quite the same difficulties and challenges that you do. You have a far greater challenge, but sometimes find people who are constantly complaining about life and what they're dealing with, and have the "woe is me" attitude. And I think when we recently connected, or when we initially connected, rather, um, I sensed a very upbeat person, somebody with a great outlook on life, despite the challenges that you faced. And again, until I actually spoke to you and you really explained it to me, I really didn't understand the condition of your heart. And because you didn't seem like a person that was, had the "woe is me" attitude. Where did you get this kind of faith?
Really, it started at home. My mom, my dad, and I. And when I say I have praying family, and I have especially a praying grandmother. Man, my God, my grandmother is a praying woman. I still call her like anytime I go to the hospital, and if I'm about to have a procedure or anything, or I call my grandparents. It don't matter what time it is. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning. The last time I had to have like a little study done. This was maybe 2 months ago, and I called my grandmother. It was 3 in the morning. I said, "Grandma, I'm about to, they're about to do a little procedure just to check and make sure everything is okay." She didn't ask no questions. She woke my grandfather up. She said, "D," because that's what my family calls me. She said, "D's in the hospital. He's about to have a procedure." My grandparents went right into praying. No questions asked.
No questions asked. And I know it makes you feel good to have people around you who support you like that. And I know there are a lot of people who don't have the type of support that you have. And you mentioned in the last interview that you want to inspire people who have a similar condition. And if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned two young people. Can you kind of give us a little information about that?
Well, yeah, the two young people, they're back home, and even though they're young kids, but they don't even recognize their strength. Kids, they just, they don't know how cruel the world is yet. They don't know how mean the world is yet, but they still keep going. And I look at those kids as inspiration. They have all these troubles that they're dealing with at such a young age, and they're still able to smile, and laugh like nothing's wrong, like they don't know what's going on. And that's just an inspiration to me. And at times when I feel myself getting down, and I look at them, and I'm like, these little kids, bodies smaller than mine, and they're going through so much, with their hearts. Some of them even have it worse than I do. Like I mentioned, it's a little boy from back home. He's been in the hospital ever since he's been born. He's maybe like 6 or 7 months now, but every time I see his mother post, he's always smiling or he's always laughing. And that's what gets me through, because he just it's even though they don't know, like they don't know about faith and all that stuff yet, but they have it, and it's just to see them smile and they can get through anything. That's what keeps me pushing because it's much bigger than
Well,
me.
yeah. And again, I did clear this with you before we actually started the interview. But you mentioned how cruel the world can be. Now, you mentioned on the last interview about facial deformities that you have. So, can you kind of give us some insight on that and how it has affected you as a young man, and how it affected you as a child?
Well, when I was born, um, my when I was born, it was a complicated situation. Um, I was born with cleft lip. Um, if I don't know if people can see, but my nose kind of sits funny. I can't move the left side of my face. I was born without an ear on the left side. You know, things like that. And the world can really be a cruel place because when I was a little boy, I would get teased about everything. Like, people would call me, say that I didn't belong here. They would call me smush face. They would make songs like no ear, one ear can't hear, stuff like, and I went through that. And I used to go home and I used to cry. Like when I was little, this was maybe about first grade. first, second, third grade, and I used to cry. It was even teachers that was being mean to me, that would treat me different because I look different.
The
And
teachers.
it's been, yeah, even teachers.
Wow.
It came to a point where my parents had to get involved with the schools because, I was being treated unfairly. And because of the way that I look, they didn't care about what I had up here. They were already trying to deem me, like I had a mental issue, but I was very smart. I was always on like the principal's list. I always brought home good grades and stuff like that. But they couldn't get past my outside, but to see what I had up here. And it was, and even sometimes people still do it now. Like, and it'll be like little things. Me and my wife are out. Like, if it's something about me, they won't ask me. They'll ask my wife. Like, I'm incapable of answering for myself. And
Wow.
but it's sad. It's just how the world is. And I learned that's when I knew then at a young age how cruel the world can be. I went home crying plenty. It was one time I think I spent like a month out of school because I didn't want to go back. I came home crying to my mother. I said I did not want to go back to school. I did not want to deal with the bullying and the people. I had people that would chase me home from school just because I looked different. Nobody cared about trying to get to know me. They was just like, you look different, so we're gonna treat you different.
And truth be known, we oftentimes do that. We immediately judge people based on their outward appearance, good or bad. We can look at somebody and they may be beautiful on the outside, but can have a very dark heart, if you would. And then you have somebody that,
Right.
may not be as appealing on the outside and could be the best person to be around. During those times you were going through that, and your mom, gave you that kind of support. How did that make you feel? Because I know it had to be a safe haven at home.
Yes, it was a very safe haven at home. Um, when my family, when I say, I'm not gonna sit here and that like my family is like the perfect biblical and everything, because it was times where I got a lot of people in my family that like to fight. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, my grandmother
We
being
all
one
do.
of them, my grandma, somebody's messing with my baby. My grandmother go down to the school in her robe and flip flops, trying to see what's going on. So, I always had that family support. I knew, and that's why, and I didn't learn until I got older, until I became an adult. I was seeking validation from the world, a place that whenever their validation means nothing, I was always seeking acceptance. And, but that's when I didn't love myself because I was basing how I felt about myself, how people were seeing me. So if somebody said, oh, you should do this, because you look like this, I accepted that. But that's because I didn't love myself. I didn't have that self love as of yet. But when I received that self love, I stopped accepting what everybody said about me. And I looked at what God said about me. And He said that I'm wonderfully made in His image. So once I realized that, it didn't matter what people said about me. And that's when I start, and it's crazy, people joke on you, but once you start joking on yourself and you laughing at their jokes, they're like their jokes aren't funny anymore. People say, "Oh, you look funny," or this, that, and third, or what happened in your face. I always have a response. Well, I feel like if God would have made me too handsome, I'd have been perfect because I got all the brains. So I don't really need the looks too. So I learned to stop taking everything people said so personally against me, because one thing I can't make myself sorry or feel bad about myself because of someone else's ignorance. And I've even been around adults to where, children are talking about me and laughing to their parents, and their parents aren't saying, well, some people are just born different. They're entertaining it with their child.
Yeah, yeah. I can only imagine. You may not be able to tell, but younger, I had some big ears. I guess I still got big ears. My head just grew into them. And I used to get teased all the time. And I was the type of person I would fight. So, I wasn't one to run home to mama. But for somebody that doesn't have that type of spirit, one that's not a fighter, again, it's great to have family support. I do see some people coming on, and I see Ty. And I guess this is Adriana, your wife.
Yes, that's my wife.
How you doing, Adriana? Tell us a little bit about how you all met.
Well, me and my wife, we met in school. We was actually in a class together, but she was dating someone else, and I was dating someone else. And we didn't pay, we really wasn't paying any mind to each other like that. She moved away to Georgia. She knew, and I had lived in Georgia before. When I found out she was moving, I was telling her about different spots she can check out. So it didn't come to maybe 3 or 4 years later. I moved back to Georgia, and we came in contact with each other, which was weird, because like I said, we didn't have a friendship like that. We knew each other from passing in class, like we just had a class together, and that's how I knew her. But when I came to Georgia, we reconnected, and I feel like God placed her in my life for a reason, because what she doesn't see what everybody else sees. And it was even when we first met, I wasn't as comfortable with myself as I am now, and she helped me to become more comfortable in my spirit and with myself, because she really pushed me to be the person that I am today. Aside from my family and everything like that, it's different from when you have your family's going to look out for you regardless, right or wrong. But when you have a woman that just come into your life and she tells you, she's telling you all these things, and she's gonna kill me for saying this, but she reached out to me first. She slid in my DMs. So she always tries to deny it, but that's really how we got in contact once I moved back to Georgia, and she was already here. And she's a strong woman. She's been through her own vices, and we was just able to come together and talk about our things. And I feel like she's made me a better man, and I've made her a better woman. And but one thing we do, we try to keep God first. Not try. We do. We keep God first in our marriage, because that's the most important thing. And that's one of the things that attracted me to her. When I first started talking to her, she said, I can't talk to no man who don't believe in God. She
Wow.
already let me know from jump. She was like, I, I'm not trying to interact in no sex with you. I want a man that knows God. You don't have to be perfect, but she already let me know the type of man that she was looking for. And the man that she was looking for had to have God at the center of his life, at the head of his life. And so,
Standards and morals are key.
right, right.
That's great. Let's go switch to your blog. You have a blog. Tell us a little bit about your blog and the purpose of your blog.
Well, I have a blog called The Healing Heart. And I really just inspire, I motivate, I write what comes to mind, things that I've been through. I got a little poetry up there, and it's just I'm just using my energy in a different way. Like I was saying, I could be one of those people that use my energy. Woe is me. Show me pity. Look at me. But I'm using my energy to motivate. I want to inspire, because I want to show people that no matter what you're going through, you can get through anything. But you just have to have the right attitude, and I can speak on that because I didn't always have the right attitude. I used to be a person where woe was me, and I was always down, and I was always depressed. So because I've been through that and I got through that, I can now speak on that.
And I guess I should have asked this question earlier, but in the last interview, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm kind of going back a little, you mentioned, again, if I'm not mistaken, before you contemplated suicide or thought about it.
Yes, yes. It was a very real thing, and that's because I was letting the pressures of the world build up on me. You know, now I know that I always had that loving, stable environment at home, But back then I was blinded because I was seeking acceptance from outsiders. I couldn't see it. So I was just stressed out and I was trying to become what they wanted me to be. I wasn't living for me. I was acting out. I was doing things that I know that I shouldn't have done, and things that really wasn't me. And it just became too much. At the time, I thought it was too much. Because I wasn't comfortable in myself. I had stopped reading my Bible. I stopped praying, and I turned away from all those things because I was feeling pity. And when you feel like that, when we put ourselves in that box or in a bubble to where we feel like we can't go nowhere, that's when we allow the enemy to attack our mind. And that's what I did. I can't say that, I can't blame nobody else because it was me that I let the enemy attack my mind because I was seeking validation from people who can't put me in heaven or hell.
Uh, so, what would be your words of inspiration to people who may be going through different challenges now, whether physical, mental, emotional, financial? What would be your inspirational words that you would leave with someone?
What I would leave with someone who's dealing with that would be to seek God and watch the love that He gives you, and think about that all the things that He has done for you, and then you really have to learn to love yourself. I feel like you won't be able to get out of that bubble until you appreciate yourself and love yourself. And that's because that's what I had to do. I had to genuinely love myself because I didn't. It used to be a time where I couldn't even look in the mirror because I didn't like what I was looking like. I used to turn away when I saw a mirror like in view. I didn't like to look in the mirror at all. Now you can't get me out the mirror because in my mind, yeah, I don't care what you say about me, I'm fine. you know. So, but that's one thing that I would leave with somebody is just genuinely love yourself. Stop seeking validation from people, who don't really care about you, who don't mean you no good. And I have a and that goes back to what we was talking about, the people who may not have their support system. You know, Even if I didn't have a support system, it would be hard, but I would still have the love for myself and know God's love to where that I would still be okay. But thankfully, I got family and a multitude of friends who love me. You know, so.
Well, with that, I'm going to ask you this final question.
Mhm.
If someone connected with you as a friend, what kind of friend could they expect from LaDarius Davis?
If someone was connecting me as a friend, they could expect a friend that was always there, a friend who would listen, a non-judgmental friend, and I'm very easy to talk to. I'm very easy to talk to, and I already let people know off gate that I'm not a therapist, but I can give you some advice, from my personal experience. But the type of friend they would get, not to my own horn, but I believe my own friends could attest to this, that I don't think it's a other than Jesus and God, I don't think it's a better friend to me. just being honest.
Well, man, I really appreciate you for coming on the show. Listen, anyone who may come in a little bit later, reach out to LaDarius, connect with him. He again is the I guess the author, the founder of what's the blog called again?
The healing heart.
The Healing Heart. And the information about the Healing Heart is in this description. Guys, you reach out to LaDarius, a great young man. If you're looking for some encouraging words, a good friend, I believe LaDarius is a young man who is very passionate about life. And LaDarius, our prayers go out to you and your family. Continued support to you, sir. And anytime you need a listening ear, just reach out to me, my friend. I'd be more than happy to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Love you, my brother. Guys, this is Tony C. Davis, the Tony C. Davis Show. Please comment, like, and share this information. We just like to help LaDarius as much as we can. he did mention that he wants to be a motivational speaker, and this is a great start for him. You're already inspiring some people. I will assure you of that. You are inspiring some people even now, and so you're on your way, my friend. Thank you all again. Appreciate you for coming on the show. Hey, we want to end the show right here with my guest, Mr. LaDarius Davis. We want to thank you all for coming in to the Amazing Women and Men of Power show at the Tony C. Davis Show here on the Raven International Network. We do appreciate you tuning in. Tuning in 2 weeks from now to have another guest. You can also follow me on Facebook at the Tony C. Davis Show. And again, I just thank you all for tuning in. Come back 2 weeks from now, and you all have a great weekend.